And we are back, San Diego. We are on, I have lost track of how many episodes of the relaunched Under Contract podcast. I want to say 3. I cheated. Someone just told me. We are on episode 3. And as always, we are bringing you tidbits of information that will help you not only in life, but in business, more particularly when it comes to making the contracts that you commit to for yourself in business and personally. And today, as we all know, I do real estate for a living, and there has been so many things going on with the real estate industry. The landscape is changing. It continues to change, and we are here for it. And today I have the honor of having one of my really good spirited colleagues / associates. She's a newer realtor and she's a hustler, and I have her on today, and we're going to discuss a few things about what it's like to be a new agent in the business. She also happens to be my mentee, so I get a chance to help her, educate her, groom her. She's already good at what she does, and she's going to even more badass, yes, I said that, later on down the line. Welcome, Maya.
Hi.
So, Maya Chappell.
Yes.
Love the name. Are you related to Dave Chappell by chance?
No, I wish.
I wish you were too. So I wanted to bring you on because I think it's important to not only discuss the changes that are happening in our real estate industry without giving it more life than it already has, but I wanted to kind of get a take from you as a newer realtor in the business. You've been an agent for how long?
Less than a year.
Okay. Less than a year. So you've seen some changes take place from last year when you became licensed to today.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about why you decided to become an agent and interchangeably a realtor. And what are your thoughts so far on the industry?
Why I became an agent is primarily my dad. My dad motivated me. He was like, listen, I think you would be a phenomenal agent. My dad at the time was doing fix and flips, and he was kind of like, I'm paying out this agent. I know you would succeed at this. Come and do it. And I was like, I had doubts. And then it took that one last time. And I was in Arizona at the time, and he was just like, come on, like, I believe in you. And just having that belief in me, I was like, okay, like, let's go for it. And I went for it. And yeah, I got my license. Last year, like 2 years ago, I moved back to San Diego. I'm from San Diego, moved back, started doing the classes for real estate, took the test.
Let's talk about that, because we know that the California real estate exam is one of the more difficult of two. I believe New York and California are neck and neck. And it's not easy.
At all.
Right.
No, at all. Like, I took that test 6 times back to back to back. I think I was telling you, Tammy, the other day, I was like, I failed it. Like, okay. And then I'm on my laptop in the parking lot, like looking up, okay, when's the next time? Tomorrow? Perfect. Oh, LA location? Okay. Booked. Right. Like, paid it right then and there, and then failed again. Okay. Looking up next one. Oh, San Diego. Okay. I went to 3 different locations. I did it all on my birthday week, thinking I was going to have luck. Didn't have luck.
But you did have luck.
I did.
Ultimately,
I mean, on my birthday, I still took that. Didn't pass. And then the day after, I didn't. 2 days after my birthday, it passed. It was a Friday.
So that right there, just the fact that you didn't give up, because you guys, it is a very difficult test.
And
I
long.
mean, there are questions on there that you'll never, ever utilize in your real estate career, ever. And it's just like, I think they test us to see if we have the patience, because real estate, as we know, you have to have patience. It's not just one and done, roll out of bed, and it's going to be a great, easy day today. Anything can pop up. Yeah. So the fact that you didn't give up, that you continued persevering, and you pushed through the difficulty, you pushed through the obstacles, because your mindset has to be different. And each time you took the test, you probably learned something different.
Absolutely. I was like, by the time I took it that 6th time, I'm like, oh, I know this, I know that. And then on to the next. And then before you know it, I thought I failed, truthfully, because I was telling Tammy, she didn't say congratulations. I took it. I went to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, I failed again. I opened it and said, congratulations, you passed. I was like, oh, thank you, God.
I think those real estate proctors are like the DMV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really have zero personality. Like, they left their personality somewhere else. Like, before they got to work, they left it at the restaurant or whatever, because they don't really say hi, congratulations, or oh my gosh.
They don't.
You know, they just like, okay, here it is.
Here's your envelope, open it up.
And you're already stressed out, and you're like, okay, did I pass? You're like, oh my God, I feel so defeated. I'm going to go check it out. So you passed it. 6 times. Congratulations. This is a testament to your work ethic, because I have watched your work ethic over the months prior to us working together. And you're a hustler. You're out there working. You're doing open houses. It doesn't matter if it's an open house that your mentor has, or if your brokerage has it, you're out there working. And that right there is what caught my attention, because you and another agent had approached me when I had some listings at the end of the year last year, and you're like, let's do your open houses. And I thought, wow, I like this. So tell me about, how are your feelings now? What are you feeling about the changes that have taken place since you've become licensed? You were originally with one broker and now you moved over. So what has your experience been as a new agent?
I've had a lot of experiences, and it's been like short amount of time. Like I said, I haven't been licensed a year yet. So
how many months exactly?
July, I got like official fingerprint. I was ready.
So 9 months.
9 months.
Okay. Yeah. You could have had a baby by now.
Hey, whoa, now. We are not on the baby train yet. We need to find a man in the ring.
Hey,
okay?
girl, don't even start Mary. Okay, she conceived. Don't even.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that right now. But I've experienced a lot of changes. Going back to, choosing your brokerage and finding that mentorship as a new agent. Let's talk about it. You have all these teams that want you, but to them, what we don't know as new agents, we're just a price tag. They make money off of us, and you don't. It sucks, because as a new agent, you're coming in the field. You're like, I just need someone to help me. Everyone's offering their help. Like, hey, come on, join our team. Come join this team. And you're just like reaching out for the first hand that's like offers you assistance. You come join, and you're not getting the assistance that knows that you need to know where to elevate yourself. Right. And it's like, as a new agent, doing your due diligence, finding what fits you and what you need to elevate yourself to that next level. How do you want to be mentored? That should be the first question. Do you need hands-on? Are you, can you just do it by yourself? Do you need just guidance on like certain things? Me, I'm very hands-on. Tammy knows this. Like, I was like, Tammy, like, listen, you got an inspection, I'm coming with you. You have an appraisal, I'm coming with you. I want to see how you talk to your clients. I want to see how your conversations are when you're dealing with the investors, when you're dealing with sellers, buyers, as well as tenant occupied. Like, all of those conversations are important. And you don't know that until you experience it. Right. And having that hands-on mentor, and going back to, there's some teams that will lead you on to believe like, hey, we got you, we're behind you. And then you go and you're like, I feel like a lost puppy. Like, because they're so pushing, like, okay, now go out there, do your thing, and then come back when you have questions. For me, it's like, I like to know what's ahead of me before I get there. I want
You're a planner.
Yeah. Like, I need to know how, like, why do you want me to go head on to something? I get it. It's just not my cup of tea.
But if you're not prepared for it, right? So it's not even so much, because in real estate, you really can't anticipate what's on the horizon, because anything can happen.
Anything.
All we know is, okay, we have a buyer, we're going to write an offer, here's the timeline. Those are the givens, right? Those are the things that we are creating and setting expectations for. But anything can happen in that timeline. Anything can pop up during escrow. Anything can happen. So you have to have the wherewithal to be able to pivot. And what I'm hearing from you is you like that guidance, that direction that prepares you so that you can prepare the best that you can.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, so fast forward. So you got your license, you're out there hustling, you're doing open houses. So as a newer agent, what would you say your best experience is so far?
Learning. And that, like, and we take that for granted because knowledge is key. And I'm a firm believer in that. Like, you have to open your mind once and not let your ego get self-driven. Like, we don't know everything. I don't know everything. And to be open, like, okay, seek this guidance. We may feel uncomfortable about what we're learning and be like, have doubts, but ask for clarification. Like, that's what a mentor is for. Like, I don't agree with Tammy when she tells me certain things. So I'll ask her questions. Like, where did you come up with that conclusion? And then she'll come back and like, this is, okay, let me break it down to you. And having that patience with me, like, okay, she needs to really clearly see this. And just, that's what I would say. Learning is crucial. And you're going to learn something in every transaction. Every transaction is not the same. You're not going to learn everything off of one transaction, the second transaction. We're going to learn something each transaction.
Right.
Tammy, she's just
I'm going on 10 years and I just
about
learned
the birds, right?
Don't even get me started on that. It's true though.
Yeah.
There's always something to learn with every transaction. And that, in my opinion, is the beauty of real estate.
Yeah.
Because we're helping people on such a grand level. We're helping them with one of the, if not the biggest decisions of their life, but we're also intricately involved in everything about them, the property, and everything else, that falls with it. So what kind of advice would you give an agent or somebody that's out there that just got licensed, and if they don't have a mentor, or they're kind of in the throes of still trying to figure out what they want to do, who they want to be with, what would you suggest?
I would suggest finding someone, like for me, how I encountered Tammy, as she was saying, she had listings during Q4 when I'm just saying interest rates were at 8% for Q4. That's impressive. I would ask to do her open houses, and she was on top of it. She was doing her own thing, and she was like, yeah, you're more than welcome. At that time, I was door knocking the neighborhood too. So I'd be like, okay. But for agents, new agents, when you're seeking help, look for people that are producing, as well as ask them straightforward. Like, agents are really transparent than what we think, but like, just be like, do you have the time to mentor me? Do you have the time? Like, this is what I need. And just ask them.
Right.
And they can tell you either flat out, no, I don't have that time. Or, you know what, I can. Let's just do a test run for a week. Highly recommend, like, do a test run. See how you guys are together for that first week. Shadow them. See if you like how they work. See if you guys have a great relationship. Me and Tammy thankfully, she's a believer, I'm a believer, so we bonded over that. I go to church with Tammy, like, talk about a mentor. Who's going to church with their mentor? Come on.
Right. That's true. It's atypical of our business as well. But it also stems from who I am as a person, who you are as a person, who your family is. It also stems from who's leading us, right? We have a great brokerage where we can talk freely about that, right? So we're going to give a shout out to Professional Realty Services, yes, in Carlsbad.
Absolutely. Shout out to Bill,
and
Jan, JW,
yes,
Clover.
So we have a really good support system around us, and I feel like we are only as good as our last transaction.
Absolutely.
Right? So we just closed on your first transaction about a month ago. So tell us a little bit about how you found the buyer and how you took your own mindset, your own skills, your own know-how, and whoever was mentoring you at the time or whoever was helping you at the time. How did you go from securing that buyer, following up with them, and succeeding going through the transaction?
I met them at an open house. And that's my jam. If you know me, I love doing open houses. I'll do them throughout the whole week. I don't mind at all. Found them at an open house. They were motivated buyers. They were like, hey, like, we've been looking. They haven't had it done. I believe I got them their first pre-approval. Didn't do a pre-approval yet. And they were like, yeah, like, you knew what you were talking about. You knew the market. This is the area. And just, as realtors, we have to do our part. Talking about going back to knowledge, like, you have to know what's going on in the market. You got to know, like, inventory. You got to know what's going on, especially in particular areas. If you're doing an open house, you should know the pendings, the closed, what's active, what's coming soon, the inventory, the average median on the price home. Like, you should know that. And then just having that information and giving it to them as motivated buyers, they came to me the very next day and told me we can go back and ask them. They were like, hey, we want you as our realtor.
That's wonderful.
And
that
then I was like, well, let's get you pre-approved.
Yeah.
I was like, I sent them to a lender, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
So it's the follow through. So you guys, a lot of people tend to think that they don't want to do open houses. Open houses, you guys, are where it is, because 9 million %, not only will you get traffic, but you'll get buyers, but you're talking real estate.
Yeah.
I mean, as real estate agents, any opportunity that we have to talk real estate, I don't care if it's at the coffee shop, at the gas station. One time I was going through Starbucks drive-through and I pulled up and I go, thanks for coming to work today. She goes, what do you mean? I go, thanks for coming to work today because you're giving me a chance to talk real estate. Here's my card. I do real estate. You know anybody who's buying or selling? And she started laughing, right? So any opportunity that you have to talk real estate, because we are only as good as our last transaction. And I don't care how many transactions you do. And we know last year, not a lot of agents did a lot of production. So going forward, knowing all the changes that are happening in the real estate industry, how are you preparing yourself for what's on the horizon? I know a lot of our colleagues in the industry are what I feel is happening right now is I feel like all of this stuff with NAR and everything is a distraction. in my world.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's happening. We're not minimizing it, but it's a distraction in my world. I don't focus on distractions. I focus on results.
Yeah.
So how are you preparing for the changes that are on the horizon?
And it's crazy because we talk about this, but not often because we're not faced by it at all. It's funny when I talk to other realtors and they're like, why aren't you faced? Like, and I'm like, my brokerage prepared me. Again, shout out to Professional Realty Services. They really prepared us.
Yep.
JW, the president, he hopped on that phone call and was like, hey, like, if you have questions, ask me. Prepared us, like, full on. Like, and I'm not prepared. I'm not scared of the NARS, what's going on, because at the end of the day, it's the same thing that we're doing now.
Right. And that
educating our buyers.
Exactly. And you know, commissions have always been negotiable.
Yeah.
They have never not been negotiable. And the buyer broker agreement is something that I do as a business practice anyway.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's something that we should have in place before we start working with buyers. So for us, it's not changing. But how are you, if you were to rate on a scale of 1 to 5, how excited are you for these changes?
5.
Right.
I see more opportunity. And it goes back to, you have the agents that want to take this serious and are very transparent with their clients, and, you know, setting those expectations with your buyers and sellers makes it a smoother transaction in the long run. Right. So this is going to help improve any rough patches throughout the process. That's how I view it. I'm like, oh, another way to improve how this transaction is going to go. Another way to make the buyer feel comfortable, to the buyer feel more involved in this process. It's all about you guys. It's all about our clients. And I feel like it's not about us. And once we focus and we're realizing, like, we're doing this to serve our clients.
That's right.
That's all what it's about.
Yeah.
Like,
service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's improving that, why be scared of that?
We're not afraid. It's fearless. You just have to, again, I think it's a distraction. So you're preparing yourself. We're going into Q2.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We've been working together, I think, since when? When did we start working together? Earlier this year?
This year. Yeah. This year. Like, I want to say February.
Right around,
like late
Martinez.
February. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. So I started mentoring you in February. And, you know, I have never been on a team. I've been asked to create teams, but I just haven't. But I felt like at this space in my life, God was kind of pushing me to become more of a leader and a teacher and a mentor. And I didn't know how that looked, but I knew that when you showed up, the day that you showed up at the open house that we were holding together, that was when God aligned it. So how have you felt so far about just having access? Because I didn't have a mentor. And not a lot of agents have a mentor that they can just call. And, you know, because there's, like you said, they're in big teams and they're spread out and they're not really hands-on. You know, what do you feel you have learned now that you've had a mentor? Forget about being me. The fact that you have a mentor that you can learn from, whether it's by example or by mistake.
By example, I would say what I'm learning is throughout the whole, like, the transaction process is crazy. Like, as a new agent, like, the books that they teach you, they're nothing from what real life and what real estate is. And there's no amount, I don't care what anyone says, like, you can't read this. You have to see it hands-on. You have
to go through it.
You have to hear these conversations because each conversation is different. And there's just certain, like, from your word usage. Like, Tammy's always correcting me on that. Like, hold on. No, this is how you correct it. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, that's
actually,
a big no-no.
I think I probably what I do is
often.
I go, you mean this?
Yeah.
Oh yes, Tammy. Okay, great. Let's go.
Yeah. Just because it's important to know that. You need to have someone correcting you.
Yes. And it's not in a way that's rude or just it's like, did you mean to say this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go.
Yeah. She'll be like, you need, and then she'll give you like a quick, like, you know why this is important, right? And I'm like, okay, no, I see it. And
because they can come back at any time and say, well, you said this, Maya.
And that's all it is. Like, making sure you're careful about what you're saying. If you don't know the question, don't just, you know, I'm like trying to say this in a nicer way. My excuse, like, don't pull it out here, but like, just be like, you know what? Great question. I'll get back to you with an answer.
And therein lies the difference between you and a lot of agents, because a lot of agents seem to go balls to the wall and they feel like, I know this, I got this, I'm not going to worry about it. And they're saying all kinds of stuff without confirming the information. But you actually have enough humility to say, you know what? That's a good question. Let me get the answer for you and I'll come back. That right there warrants so much respect from the clients that you're working with, because it shows, hey, you know what? Let me get the answer for you. And you get it for them.
You're doing your due diligence as an agent.
That's right.
Don't give false. I'm telling you, do not. Like, even if you feel like, will they think I'm new? Will they think... No worries in that. Like, just show your value to your clients. And a lot of clients, at the end of the day, they respect who you are as a person. And just show, like, if you're committed, you know, you can weave out the BS people. You can weave out who's in it for the money. You can see if someone genuinely cares about you and cares about providing for you a phenomenal service. And taking that, going back, humility, and being like, you know what, I don't know that answer, but I can guarantee you I'm going to get that answer.
That's right. And there's more respect there.
And I tell them, I was like, I have a phenomenal mentor. Like,
who's your mentor? Who is this person?
Man, Tammy D.
Girl, I need to meet her.
You do.
Because you're only as good as the company you keep. Okay.
And I forgive her. And then another thing,
we're talking over here acting like I'm not even in this conversation.
But I also want to say, when you do find that mentor as a new agent, give them their flowers. Like, give them their flowers.
You know, that's the first time I had flowers in 2 years. She gave me flowers when we started working together, and it was very touching, and it was this is what it's all about. You know, as human beings, we are put on this earth to serve each other. To love each other and to serve each other. However that manifests itself, that's what our responsibility, that's what God created us to do. And if we're in real estate, you better believe we're going to be serving people left and right. They may not like what we have to say sometime, but we are always looking out for their best interests. We are fiduciaries. So that's the number one thing that we have to keep in mind. So if you had a friend that said, hey, Maya, I'm thinking of becoming a real estate agent, what are 3 tips you would give them?
Have they already applied to be a real estate, or no?
They're thinking about it.
They're thinking about it. I would say, truthfully, I would extend the hand and be like, do you want to shadow me for a day and see how you like it? And that's just me being genuine, because I love what I do. Like, within these, 8 months we counted, I genuinely love serving people. Like, I find pleasure in this. And even if you're not even purchasing or selling, just educating people, like
being of service, a resource,
being able to be like, listen, hold on, why don't you think it's possible you can't purchase? Oh, what? No, that's foolish. Like, let me tell you how you can do it. This is the steps how you can achieve home ownership. This is how you can generate generational wealth through real estate. And
your family's doing that right now.
Yeah,
and I love to watch this happening, because that's what it's all about.
We have my brother, 21, about to purchase an investment property and then purchase another property with my father. So then he's going to have 2.
And who's the really good lender that's helping us?
Isaiah Blas.
Okay. Cornerstone.
Get with it. No, Isaiah's phenomenal, and you can just see how he genuinely cares about my family. Like, I can call Isaiah, and Isaiah's like, oh, like, you know, okay, Maya, I got you. Like, no rush. We've had him run ROIs in several states, and I hear no complaints. Just like, hey, do you want to go over the numbers? Hey, do you have another state? Hey, and I'm just like, wow. Because I know that takes time out his day. He's busy, but for him to genuinely care about my family and like, hey, I want to make sure you guys have all your options, and then even providing his 2 cents. Like, some people will be opposed, like, why are you adding? Listen, knowledge, it goes back to, hey, let go of that ego. If he this man knows what he's talking about. Isaiah's phenomenal. So for him to be like, Maya, hey, focus more on this specific city. I'm not going to give the city away, because, we're working on it. Hold on. I can't give too much of the information. Go to Isaiah if you want the tea. But, yeah, he was like, Maya, hone in on this specific city. And I'm like, Isaiah, what? And then he was like, I'm telling you, like, I know what I'm talking about. He has proof to back him up. And it's just like, trusting that person. You can see how he genuinely cares about my family and us building generational
He's a servant.
Man, I met Isaiah's mentor, Joe. Joe's phenomenal as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we have no discretions here. We're very much, when we have our tribe, especially in real estate, when you have your tribe, when you have your lender, when you have your escrow, when you have your title, when you have all the key people, that only supports and elevates you and your performance. Because again, you are only as good as the company you keep. And that is so true in life, period. That can be relationships, that can be people you spend your time with when you're not working, and more importantly in real estate, because honestly, you can't do what you do effectively without them, right? So if you have one weak link in that whole chain, what happens? Little things start coming down, right? And that's so all back to your foundation. Yeah.
Going back to title, shout out to Christy too. Like
equity title.
Yeah. Like she's phenomenal. I had lunch with her and Tammy introduced, and Tammy at the time, you were doing something.
Getting ready for the photo shoot. I was working on my listing for North Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was working on her listing and I had lunch with Christy and she's phenomenal. Like just conversation wise and like,
it's very informative.
You need to do, teaching me so much I had no clue about, and just like, she also installed like, hey, I believe in you. Like, girl, you got this. And I'm like, and it just takes that. You want to be surrounded by people that believe in you and that push you too. Like, don't like see, like, you got to take that constructive criticism? Constructive criticism very well, because, they're only here to help you.
Right.
That's it.
And the fact that you can see through that, because a lot of our business is ego driven.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are in this business, again, this goes back to humility. When you're new, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Out the gate, you might have the connections, but you still need to know how to do what you need to do. Right. So the humility that you have, and hey, I need help.
Yeah.
Please help me understand this, or that. Where a lot of people are like, I got this.
Yeah.
I understand escrow. I got the language. Okay.
Because there's so much that goes into it. The contracts, man. The contracts.
So that's one part of it.
That's just one, but that's such an important part.
Yes, and anything else that can pop up later. Addendums, a modification of terms, and everything that's connected to that contract. And this business can tend to be emotional, as we know, because it's a massive purchase. But the one thing that I would encourage anybody, and I have encouraged you, is take the emotion out of it. When it comes to the negotiations, just refer back to the contract, because that's what governs this whole transaction. Right? The emotions have to be taken down, especially as the agent. We can't get emotional over stuff. We have to be, boom, done. This is what it is. And we go in and fight for our clients. So Q2's coming in. You've got the year coming down the line. Now that you're kind of in your groove and you've got buyers, you've done one transaction, you've got another buyer that's in the hopper, we've got my listing that we're working on, we've got other listings that are coming up. Give us your top takeaway from the last few months and why you're excited about what the future holds for the vision of Maya Chappell in real estate.
Going back, I enjoy what I do, and I can see, like, even though I'm starting off and I finally gained the momentum, it's like, okay, what more? I want to learn more. I want to learn more just to educate others. Like, and I'm going back to educating, because so many people I encounter, they're like, I didn't know I can put 3.5% down. I didn't know. I thought it was automatically 20%. Like small things like that. Right. To agents, we're like, how do you not know? Like for me, I'm just like, what do you mean you never knew? Right. But going back to, they're just reading what they see on social media. They're not, YouTube. YouTube. Like, come on, YouTube. Or not even educating themselves. Right. So for me to go to like my friend groups or like my generation and being like, hey, it's possible. Like going back, my brother's 21, everyone.
That's amazing.
About to have 2 properties under his belt in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like that's like, if he can do it, you can do it.
Right.
And then just going back to educating people. So I really like love the momentum I'm getting. I'm hungry. Like we're going to keep doing these open houses. We're going to keep getting sellers and buyers. Right. And all of it is going to lead to, I truthfully feel like educating people. At the end of the day, if I can educate as many people like to start building generational wealth through real estate and understanding it's possible. And even like, some people are like, well, there's so much you can do as an investment property that I'm still learning. Right. And it's just phenomenal what the real estate industry can do for a family.
It's an artery. It's a way of you doing. There's so many different arteries to real estate. It's not just about the purchase and the sale. There's investment properties. There's remodeling. There's so much you can do. And the fact that your family's getting involved with it and that you are instrumental in it speaks volumes about you as a person. I knew the first time I met you that you were going to be a hustler and a grinder in this business. Christy sees it. We all see it. Anybody who's around you sees it. My recommendation is keep doing the hard work. Keep being an example. Keep leading by example. you're going to do really good things. One last thing. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for a lot of things. One thing I would be grateful for. You're grateful. I'm grateful. Hi, we always say it. Thank you, God, for Jesus.
Okay, that's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt, but that's real. I'm thankful for God to guide me through this. Because without God, I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess.
I'm still a hot mess.
I am, but like just relying on my faith so heavily, like at the end, I truly believe I'm going to be good because I have God on my side. So I'm grateful for God to be just in this presence to help me and guide me through finding the right mentorship, to finding the right lender, the title, the crew. Like it goes down to going back to the community that you're surrounded by.
Right.
Because then we're all motivating each other. We're all like, hey, are you down? Like going back to, we called someone the other day and we're like, me and Tammy were like, they seemed a little down, right? I'm not going to put their business. And we're just like, the enemy's working, but we're going to pray just to know like we're so close and so tuned. Like we got each other's back. Yeah. And that's what it boils down to. So I'm grateful for I'm grateful for the community I have right now.
That's it.
Because we're so close knit and like we're undefeatable.
It's true. And if anybody knows how I work, and if anybody that is close to me, they know that if you're in my inner circle and you do something to hurt somebody around me, that's not going to fly with me.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just how I am in business. That's how I'm in life. But Maya, I'm so grateful that we took the time. We've always talked about having you come on and do this. You were shy at first, but girl, you can talk. So don't even think that you're not.
It's just like, I'm one of those people definitely where you're just talking and I can't get all the words out. So that's why I'm hesitant, but I'm just like, all right, let's do it.
You're doing fantastic. We're going to have you back on. But I wanted to bring you on to get a perspective from a newer agent because there is so much going on in our business.
Definitely.
You were in the throes of the higher interest rates last year. You went from one team to a different brokerage all in a matter of 8 months. And I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but girl, you're thriving.
Yeah.
You
and
are
definitely
thriving.
Like as a new agent, if you're like coming in, like go full force. And if you feel like you're about to quit, don't quit.
Right.
Just change up, seek whatever you need to seek, pray on it, allow God to guide you through it, but don't quit.
Right.
Figure it out. Figure out a solution, and there's always a solution to a problem. Change whatever you have to change and keep going.
That's right.
That's it.
Quitting isn't the option.
It's like at all.
No.
Like that shouldn't even be
not
a word.
No, you're gonna do fine. But I'm so proud of you. I really am proud of you, and I love to see the changes that you've made, the growth that you've endured, and you're going to do more. So I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you.
For those of you who want to reach out to Maya, Maya's on social media at
Maya's House Hustle.
Oh, girl, Maya's House Hustle.
Maya's House Hustle, okay?
If you're looking to connect with her, to pick her brain about getting involved as a newer agent, please reach out to her. As always, the contracts that we make with ourselves are super, super important. And the contract that you made with yourself back when you took that test 6 times was, I'm not giving up.
At all. And I'm not going to, okay?
That's it.
Yeah. I love what I do, and I'm going to continue doing this.
That's it. So don't quit. San Diego, as always, it's a pleasure. Have a great day today.
Bye, you guys.
And keep those contracts. Peace out, San Diego.
Bye.